What's going on, everybody? My name is Mark.
My name's Michael.
This is Business and Banter.
We're gonna do a little more banter today.
A little less business, I think. Dude, what is going on with Netflix? What have you been watching? I need to talk about it because I just never get to talk about Netflix the way.
I agree. I think that we get in and you binge a show and then you can't talk to anybody about it because it's like you post it on Facebook and it's just not the same.
You gotta wait for people to get on your schedule. It's a lot. But what are you binging right now?
What am I binging? So I just finished The Messiah.
Oh, this is what they keep advertising on Facebook, right?
I don't know where.
Not Facebook. I'm sorry, Netflix. They keep pushing it on Netflix.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. Great freaking show.
Really.
Without giving too much away, but it's like it's about a Messiah, but it's like modern day world. Okay, so imagine all the religions of the world and their prophecies about whether it's the Jesus second coming or the Messiah from the Jews or another Messiah from the Muslims. The three monotheistic religions, and then you have everything else in between, right? And all of a sudden, this guy shows up. It happens to be a male in this.
Does he have a beard?
No, like a hipster-looking guy. Like,
no beard? They have no beard?
This guy's like
what
a
kind of a Messiah is
anyway,
this?
so it's like it's in the thing. So it's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
so this guy looks great, looks like a little hipster, but.
A little hipster.
And he's talking multiple languages, and he really understands scripture.
Wow.
And he's pretty young for his for the knowledge that he has.
Okay.
And you're thinking to yourself, okay, is he a Russian spy then?
Did Putzi send him?
You know what I mean? So like you got the CIA and you got all these other intelligence agencies are like, who is this person? Is this like a national threat that we should be worried about? Is Russia behind this as a way to like start a World War III kind of thing?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Cause chaos and like different connections that are made, and you're just like, oh my God, what's going on here? Is this or not? And then meanwhile, he's like performing miracles or what appear to be miracles, and like it's nutty. And so then you think to yourself, okay, if I was there and I just saw this, would I believe this? And then if I am believing this, holy shit.
So I just want to say,
there's a God. What are we doing with that? Do I gotta? I'm Jewish, so like I'm putting on a kippah. I'm not eating. Well, I don't eat pork, but like just forget the shellfish. You know what I mean? Like
he said, what are we doing about this? There's a God. Oh my God. And your wife is probably like, I don't know either. What are we gonna do about this?
That's it. And that's exactly the whole premise on this. So like you're seeing so many different reactions of so many different people of what to do with this.
I just imagine an episode of Family Guy where like a bunch of people eat mushrooms and they don't realize they're mushrooms and they start hallucinating and they start like giggling about it. And
it's such a great show, and that's why like this is the type of stuff that I miss having an opportunity to do with these shows, because not for nothing, I just binged it. You didn't, because you suck. What are you watching right now? Some church or some nonsense? I don't even care for the title. This is nothing compared to what I just said.
By the way, it is a good show. It's called The Green Leaves, and it's about a family who owns a church. And I'm not going to give much away either, except that if you can get. I'm sorry. Do you need some coffee, Mike? There's water in here, but I'm sure we can find.
Something
coffee.
About the show that sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a ton of drama in there. It's real. The writers did very well with this show. It's no Messiah show, although it's along the same lines as like a religious sort of show, I guess you could say.
Just because there's a religion in it doesn't make it along the lines. All right. This is a show that your wifey probably chose.
We chose.
Yeah, I called you out, Yana. I called you out, Yana. Do something.
I tried to. No, we didn't choose it together though. We were looking through and just like.
No, we didn't.
I don't know. Did we choose it together? Babe, can you respond in the comments? I really don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, no. So we're watching this, but it's like Netflix. First of all, let me just say that any show, because I think that they're both produced by Netflix. I think The Messiah is produced by Netflix.
I believe so. Yeah, it's a
I think that Netflix as a production company is phenomenal. I think that
working overtime. They're just pumping out content.
I don't know what they're writing.
After seeing Messiah, I went ahead and saw Dracula. Another fun thing. It takes you more than an episode to get into it, but once you get past that first episode, you're like, this is fun. Okay, I'm gonna get off topic here for a second. Dracula, fun thing you got to get into, man. I didn't tell you about it, but
sounds like a sex thing.
Imagine Dracula is alive today, right? How are people going to respond to it?
No one's going to take that seriously.
Why can he not see his own reflection, right? Or why is he afraid of the sun? Like, what is it about the sun that's killing him, right? And will it actually kill him? Because have we ever tested it, right?
I have so many jokes to make about it.
Right? So, like, all these kind of things, like garlic and the cross. Why is he afraid of the cross? Is he part of is he part of the devil? That's why he's afraid of it, but it's the cross. Like, how is it? So, it's asking these things. It's ridiculous.
I was gonna say, like, if Dracula,
Hysterical show. Not as good as the Messiah, but it's hysterical.
I was gonna say if Dracula was like a thing today, it would have to be written somewhere like, is this like an Instagram filter that's not working properly?
There's a scene from Dracula where he's in a house and it's like, and he just awoke like in this modern day world, right? And the woman is like, wait, what? And her husband is in the fridge stuffed, right? So he stuffed her in there, stuffed him in there, and the woman's just like, he's like, don't worry, I'm not here to kill you. It just and he's going through something, and he goes, I'm Dracula. No, like a vampire. Yes, and he goes to her. Don't believe it. Those little hairs on the back of your neck. Believe those. Those are usually right. I am Dracula. Let's get past the formality now. So it's like
those are usually right.
Like that's it. Like that's that. And then he goes, "Do you have any questions for me?" And she literally goes to him, Can you see your own reflection? And he's like, That's what you want to ask me right now? So I won't. He does go and look into the mirror, but I won't give away what happens. But
there's a lot of spoilers. Thanks a lot, Mike.
But what we're getting at is, I can't share these moments with anybody at the water cooler, the water cooler, because I don't know who's watching it. And if I mention it, then someone says, "Yeah, okay, I'll get to that," and then that's it. Like they're done, right? Maybe 5 months later they'll come back and say, "That was a really good show."
Because of this binge culture we're in, there's a lot less like TV or content relatability. That's the word I was looking for. It took me like a minute to get it out. But what I think is cool, who were we saying? Disney Plus is doing this.
Disney Plus with The Mandalorian.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it's phenomenal.
Dude.
Have you seen it?
Get off this church show and watch things that matter. I haven't seen The Mandalorian. Excuse me, we're in an office. I'm Giuliani over here. So, you haven't seen The Mandalorian?
No.
All of last month, the Yoda memes, they meant nothing to you?
I'm not going to answer that question.
They meant nothing to you?
I'm not going to answer that.
I think you even tried to post the Yoda meme.
I did not.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't do that.
Good.
I can't.
Okay. But you see, I think what Disney caught on to is a really interesting situation where they understood the value of having cultural moments be explored for that week, right? So if you remember the days of Jack Bauer, 24, if you remember Breaking Bad, right, where you had to wait a week for the episode to show up, and why did these things become so like huge phenomenon situations? Because they had a week before the next episode where people can talk about it and get other people hooked onto it, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew.
It's the idea that
fun.
It is fun. In my opinion, it's like the idea behind why did Facebook grow to the extent that it grows so fast, and it's a similar concept when you think about it. It's because
I don't think so.
We'll see where I'm going with this. When Facebook first came out, you can only get onto Facebook if you went to college and had a college ID, right? It's the only way you can get onto Facebook. Therefore, there was a ton of the population that just couldn't get onto Facebook because they didn't have that.
Right, it had the exclusivity.
Right, it had the exclusivity. Now, there is exclusivity with Disney Plus, you have to have it. But what I'm saying is, the psychology behind it is not to give something in abundance, to give it in little segments and work your way up, because it creates this culture of like just holding people back from themselves.
Here's what I learned about Mark. He makes a good point.
It just takes me a year to get there.
But he usually takes 3 extra right turns, gets lost, comes back around, and eventually gets to a solid point.
Mike, you sound like my wife. So you must be right then. You sound like my wife. You must be right.
So I must be right.
You must be right, yeah. No, it's true.
But you're absolutely right. I think having things in smaller portions is what's working. But it's really, I think, more about the socializing part, right? Like being able to really talk about the different elements, right? So like the show Messiah, to me, it was just like episode 1 finished, and I was just like, whoa, kind of cool, but like where are they going? And by the time we get to like 3 or 4, it's really raising interesting questions about religion, about like, well, what would you do if you saw him walking on water right now, right? There's a scene of him walking on water, and you're like, dude, this is crazy. Thousands of people just witnessed this. And then you're going to have those skeptics. Yeah, but he pre-planned it. Look at me walk on water, blah, 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 right? And then you're going to have moments where he's like, someone's capitalizing on this, right? And so all these ethical debates that like, I'm waiting to have a conversation with someone.
I'll have to start watching this.
I can't do it.
I'm gonna.
Because there's literally nobody watching it that I know about right now.
I'm gonna go home and watch the first episode tonight. I'm gonna make it a point to do that. I just like, first of all, if I ever saw somebody walking on water, like legit walking on water, I would think to the last meal that I ate. I would call whoever's house I was at, the restaurant, or I'd be like, what did you put in my food? Because I'm seeing shit.
Right.
So I liked your connection because I want to be able to do this on a more consistent basis. Now I'm kidding.
But then imagine if you realize, yeah, this dude literally walked on water.
I would be like, oh my god, the prophecies are true. Like, there's like God and stuff, maybe.
You know what I mean? And then you see some more, and you see some more, and then you're like, okay, like legit, what if there was a Messiah walking amongst us right now and we're literally putting him in on TV? Right? Like, that's crazy. Anyway, so aside from the show,
there's
go
a lot.
watch the show Messiah. If you're watching this, maybe you can give us a little sponsor for this.
If we go viral or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. But what do I want to say? The Disney Plus with The Mandalorian caught on to a really good thing. They give it a week before the show, and that's why I think The Mandalorian was such a hype for a really long time, culturally, right? So like,
and then everybody just dropped Disney Plus the second they were finished.
well, not necessarily, but like we stopped talking about it because there's no more episodes, right? But I can guarantee that when the next episode comes back, season 2 or whatever the case is, or something related to that, like another Star Wars things, people are going to hop back onto it because they know that, hey, I don't want to miss out, especially if there's enough buzz going around there. Yeah, I do want to know about this. You know?
Yeah, I miss the culture you're talking about of just like, I also think it's funny that we call it a culture, but it's just like a way of living.
It becomes a culture.
Of like, just all this content being so readily available versus like 5 to 10 years ago when YouTube wasn't what it is today, where content isn't on at your, like, you know, by a million different creators. And like you had to wait for like shows to be available on cable for you to watch it, and I think that was a really. I was like, I used to be excited for Monday night, you know, 24 Beyond or whatever.
Exactly. I think YouTube does a really good job at informational videos.
It does.
And some random entertainment videos, but I still think the larger, like bigger impact of like things that make you think, as well as like big scale entertainment, you know, like really big idea type of films are still obviously through private or large corporation funds.
Right.
But the fact that we wait a week before we get that video, the next episode, I think is really good.
Yeah,
I also
good.
think that ultimately it's healthier for society to be able to have some space in between. Studies are now.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Exactly,
I need it now.
Speaking of crack.
That was not really crack, but okay.
There was a thing that I read that said that when an episode ends, the dopamine that releases after you get you get a positive feeling when the episode ends, and that cliffhanger for the next episode.
It's a level of excitement.
That moment of, oh wow, that just happened, and now you're like, now I need to get to the next one, and it's just literally your next fix.
I'm writing a skit, by the way, about digital addiction, because digital addiction, I bet you in the future we'll have AA meetings for digital addiction.
They already are.
Really?
1,000%.
Oh, well, that's a shitty bet then. Like, I'm not that fucking smart then.
Absolutely not.
How disappointing.
This video is where we crap on Mark.
Yeah, how disappointing of me. Oh, well. But,
guys, go watch The Messiah. Mark, hop off this church show of yours.
I thought you were going to say the Soul Train.
Yana, choose better shows. Guys, please, somebody chat with me about The Messiah. How good is this goddamn show? Please.
Send him a message. Leave some comments. Let's talk about it. Let's
tell me what your questions are, because I would do an episode and a half about just this goddamn show.
Mike's going to start dressing up like the Messiah just so people start talking to him.
I will never pull it off.
Well, guys, I think that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been a more banter episode of Business and Banter. Disney Plus, from a business perspective, great job.
See you guys.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Bye.